Morning, dear students. We were discussing about growth and development of a healthy child. So, in the last class, we have started with the theoretical foundations of development, various development, and we have seen regarding the personality development and the theories of personality development, like psychosocial development and the psychosexual development. So, hope these theories are clear for all of you. And we will continue with the development of a child, like theoretical foundations of mental development. So the mind and the mental development, how it is happening in a child, the theoretical backgrounds we are discussing in today's session. So, the cognitive development by Jean Piaget, moral development theory by Kohlberg, and spiritual development theory Fowler. So, these are the three theories which will be explaining the mental development of a child. So, we can see first one, that is the cognitive development. So, by assimilating information through the senses, processing it, and acting on it, they come to understand the relationship between objects and between themselves and their world. So, generally, regarding the mental development, how this mental development is happening is they will be perceiving the information through various senses, by seeing, by hearing, by smelling. So, and they will be processing this informations and they will be acting on it. So, they will be understanding the relationship between the objects, between themselves and their world. So, the cognitive development, the moral development, spiritual development, these all developments happens by perceiving the information through senses processing, and depending upon that they will be responding to it. So this is very important, like what experience they will be getting when they are growing. So the language, morals and spiritual development emerge as cognitive abilities advance. So depending upon their cognitive abilities, the other three developments happens. So first we can see the cognitive development by Jean Piaget. This is the picture of theorist. So Jean Piaget developed the cognitive development theory. So the basis of his theory, just like psychosexual development, psychosocial development, and in cognitive development, the basic concept is based on his observations and work with children. Piaget formulated a theory of cognitive development. So he was studying the children's behavior, and based on his observations and work with children, he has developed this theory of cognitive development. He believed that the children's view of the world is influenced largely by age and maturational ability. So, uh, the view of their world or their surrounding is influenced by age and maturational ability. So, they will be, according to the infant's view, will be differing than an adolescent. So what they will be, infant will be in the hands of parents, and they want only food and other needs. But when they become the toddler, their view about the environment is changing because they have the locomotion, and they can explore more comparing to an infant or a newborn. So they will be learning more from the environment according to their age. So, when it is given nurturing experiences, the child's ability to think matures naturally. So, when we have to give nurturing experiences for the child, so according to that, the development of the child will be more happens, and it happens naturally. So, this is about his basic idea regarding his theory. That means view of a child is depending upon his ability or his age of maturity. And when we are giving nurturing experiences for the child, there will be more intellectual or cognitive ability for the child. So, this is his observation, and based on that, he has divided the theory like cognitive development stages into four. They are: first one, sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage. The second one is pre-operational stage. Third one is concrete operational stage. Fourth one is formal operational stage. So the sensory motor stage is from birth till 2 years of old. Pre-operational stage is from 2 to 7 years of old. Next is concrete operational stages from 7 to 11 years old. Formal operational stage is from adolescent till adulthood. So these are the four stages of cognitive development, and through which the child will be exploring the environment and child will be getting the cognitive abilities. So immediately after birth itself, the child has the sensory ability. The child will be perceiving informations, and child will be going through different stages in the intellectual development or in the cognitive development. So cognitive development is otherwise known as intellectual development also. So we can see one by one in detail. And one more thing which I can add here is psychosocial theory and the psychosexual theory. The stage of development is corresponding to each other, like infancy, trust versus mistrust, and oral stage. So the same things happen, but here some overlapping is happening. Like sensory motor stage is till 2 years, not up to 1 year, and after 2 years, from 2 to 7 years, that is toddlerhood and the preschooler period and the school going period. That's three ages are overlapped. Three age periods are overlapping in pre-operational stage, and concrete operational schooler, and formal operational stage, it is adolescence. So this is about the Piaget's cognitive development stages. So we can start with the sensory motor stage, that is from birth to 2 years. So infants learn about the environment or world by input obtained through the senses and by their motor activity. So that is a explanation of sensory motor. Sensory and motor. Sensory stands for the senses, what they are perceiving, and the motor ability, that is the locomotion abilities what they have. So these two helps in the development of sensory motor stage in birth till 2 years. So initially they will be using their senses to receive the information, and afterwards it will be using the senses plus locomotory abilities or motor activities. So there are 6 substages. Sensory motor stage, the first 2 years, it is a very complex intellectual activities are happening, and that's why we are subdividing the sensory motor stage into 6 substages. So the first one is use of reflexes. Use of reflexes, that is from birth to 1 month. The first newborn stage is used in the sensory motor stage. The first stage is use of reflexes. The first 1 month is in the use of reflexes. The second one is primary circular reactions. That is from 1 to 4 months. 1 to 4 months. The third stage is secondary circular reactions, that is from 4 to 8 months. The fourth stage is Fourth substage is coordination of secondary schemas and their application to new situations. So that is from 8 to 12 months. And in the fifth substage, tertiary circular reactions, that is from 12 to 18 months. And the sixth substage is mental combinations, 18 to 24 months. So we will be discussing one by one these substages in detail. So just you remember the substages: use of reflexes, primary circular reactions, secondary circular reactions, coordination of secondary schemas and their application to new situations, tertiary circular reactions, and the Mendel combinations. So these are the sensory motor stage and the substages. So through these substages, the child will be learning the world through their senses and their motor ability. So that's why the name is given sensory motor stage. So the first substage is use of reflexes. So the period of this substage is birth to 1 month. So birth to 1 month, automatically we know that that is a newborn. And the infant begins life with a set of reflexes such as sucking, rooting, grasping. So this you will be studying in the newborn unit. So what are the reflexes and how we can elicit the reflexes. So some you will be knowing also. Some reflexes are sucking, rooting, grasping, etc. So, by using these reflexes, the infant receives stimulation via touch, sound, smell, and vision. So, just example, rooting reflexes, like when you are stroking at the corner of the mouth, child will turn their head towards that particular object or towards that side. That is rooting reflex. So this helps to locate the breast, like when the nipple is touching in the corner of the mouth, corner of the lips, the child will be trying to turn the head and it will grasp the, or it will pick up the breast nipple. So this is one reflex, that is rooting reflex. Then when they get the nipple in their mouth, they will start sucking. So automatically they will start sucking. That is again second reflex which helps to collect breast milk from mother's breast. So these type of reflexes are there. So these touch, sound, smell, vision, they will be using to receive the stimulation from the environment. The reflexes thus put the foundation for the subsequent stages. So these reflexes helps for their feeding, helps for their protection, and it will be leading their life in the next stages. So it will be helping them to lead their life in the first substage. So that is about the use of reflexes. So they will be sucking. So in the first substage itself, three important activities are performed by this child. So the first one is functional assimilation. That is repetition of the reflexive actions such as sucking even though not hungry. If they are not hungry also, they will repeat the action sucking of the breast. If they are given the breast for them, breast nipple for them, they will continue sucking even even when they are not hungry. So that is the functional assimilation. So till sleeping, even with full stomach, they will continue sucking till they get sleeping. So that is a functional assimilation, repetition of the reflexive actions such as sucking even though not hungry. Even though not hungry, they will continue sucking. So that is a functional assimilation. So they will continue sucking like a breast nipple or the finger if you are giving, they will be continuing the sucking. So the second is generalized assimilation occurs when the infant no longer sucks only the breast or bottle but other non-nutritive items like a fist. So generalized assimilation, that means they are now interested to do sucking activity. So if it is a pleasurable activity, they will continue sucking the non-nutritive items also, like fist or the hand, or even anything what they are getting in their hand, they will be starting sucking. So that is a generalized assimilation. Non-nutritive items are also sucked by the child. So the next is, this is the non-nutritive items they will suck. The next third assimilation is recognitory assimilation. It occurs when the hungry infants will not accept a substitute for the breast. So when they are hungry, during that time they will not accept any substitute. Like if you're giving the hand finger or anything, they will not accept when they are hungry. So in the first 1 month, they are recognizing what is a nutritive item for them and what fills their stomach. So that is regarding the use of reflexes. So they will not take any substitute for breast or other nipple. So that is regarding the recognitory assimilation. So the first substage in the sensory motor stage was regarding use of reflexes. The child uses different types of reflexes to survive in the first 1 month. So they will be perceiving information also. So there are 3 types of main activities performed by the child in the first 1 month. That is functional assimilation. They will be sucking the breast even though when they are not hungry. And generalized assimilation, that is something they sucks the breast and the bottle, and also something like non-nutritive items are also they will be sucking. The third one is recognitory assimilation. So here the child, the hungry infant will not accept a substitute for the breast. So they will do the functional assimilation and the generalized assimilation when they are not hungry, and when they become hungry, that is the recognitory assimilation, they know what is filling their stomach. Then they will not accept any substitute other than this breast milk or breast nipple. Hope you all are clear. The second one is the primary circular reactions, that is from 1 to 4 months. Primary circular reactions. So beginning of the replacement of reflexive behavior with voluntary acts. So initially the child was with use of reflexes. Now it starts replacement with the voluntary acts. Initially, the child was holding the hand very tightly with palmar grasp, and now the child is trying to open the hands to pick up the objects or to do something. So that is become the voluntary acts. The beginning of accommodation is evident, so they can accommodate the objects. Their vision is coming to become more stable. Infants incorporate and adapt their reaction to the environment and recognize the stimulus that produced a response. So they will be understanding the environment, they will be perceiving the informations, and they will be knowing the stimulus that produced a response. ഇവിടെ നിന്നാണ് ഒരു സൗണ്ട് ഉണ്ടായത്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ what is a stimulus that they will be identifying. They will do repetition of the simple acts. If they are clear with one act, they will do repetition of that particular act. If they know to do some act, they will be repeatedly doing that particular activity. So when they are getting some rattle, repeatedly they will be observing and they will be making sound with that. So repetition of the acts will be there. Previously, they would cry until the nipple was brought to the mouth. So in first 1 month, they will be crying till the mother keeps the breast nipple inside the mouth of the baby. So during the primary circular reactions, they know the stimulus which initiated the response. So they will associate the nipple with the sound of the parent's voice. So when they are listening the sound of the mother, they will stop crying because they know that the next time they will be, or immediately they will be getting the breast milk because the mother is very close to me, that they will be knowing. So when they are hearing the sound of the mother, they will be stopping crying. They accommodate this new piece of information and adapt by ceasing to cry when they hear the voice before receiving the nipple. So before receiving the nipple, they know that the parent has the nipple, she will definitely feed me. So they will stop crying when they hear the parent's voice. So they know what is the stimulus and which gives the response. Stimulus response they will be studying during this time. So that is about the primary circular reactions. The third substage is secondary circular reactions. So primary എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നിങ്ങൾ ഓർക്കുക, അത് ഒന്നാമത്തെ സ്റ്റേജല്ല, രണ്ടാമത്തെ സബ്സ്റ്റേജ് ആയിരുന്നു. സെക്കൻഡറി സർക്കുലർ റിയാക്ഷൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് തേർഡ് സബ്സ്റ്റേജ് ആണ്. So that is between 4 to 8 months. 4 to 8 months, now we know that some amount of locomotory abilities are attained by the child, so they can have a better head control during this time, and they will be trying to sit or turning is possible for the child. So in this stage, the primary circular reactions are repeated and prolonged for the response that results. So if they want to hear some sound from the rattle, they will repeat it and they will be trying to get a response which from that particular activity. Grasping and holding. Initially the child was grasping the object, holding the object, now become shaking, banging and pulling. So they will be doing repetition of the primary circular reaction. So if they get a rattle, they will shake it, they will banging it, they will do banging, and they will be pulling, they will be pushing. So different activities they will be doing instead of grasping and holding. നേരത്തെ അവർ പിടിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നു, ഇപ്പോൾ അവർ പല രീതിയിൽ കുലുക്കി വലിച്ചെറിഞ്ഞ് സൗണ്ട്, പലതരത്തിലുള്ള സൗണ്ടുകൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നത് ശ്രദ്ധിക്കും. Shaking is performed to hear a noise, not solely for the pleasure of shaking. More or less shaking produces different responses. So നല്ല സൗണ്ട് കിട്ടണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ വലിച്ചെറിയണം, അതേപോലെ തന്നെ കുറച്ച് സൗണ്ട് കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കുറച്ചായിട്ട് ഷേക്ക് ചെയ്യണം. So this differences, more and less, they will be knowing and they will be performing. So shaking to make a slow voice or a big voice. So according to that they will be doing the activities, and it is to hear the voice, not for a shaking purpose. So that is the activity in the secondary circular reactions. They will repeat the primary circular reactions in the secondary circular reactions. So they will pull the objects, they will be taking the bed sheets, they will push things in this time. And the causality, time, deliberate intention and separateness from the environment begin to develop. So the causality, time, deliberate intention and separateness from the environment begin to develop during this time. So they know about the time, the causality, that is how the switch is working. സ്വിച്ച് ഇടുമ്പോൾ ഫാൻ കറങ്ങുന്നു, അപ്പം അവിടേക്ക് നോക്കും. So that the causality they will be identifying. And three new process of human behavior occur, that is imitation, play and affect. Imitation, play and affect during this secondary circular reactions. So this is the imitation. Okay, imitation, this is the imitation. So what they do is, imitation requires the differentiation of selected acts from several events. Infants can imitate sounds and simple gestures. So what is the difference? ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരാൾ മിമിക്രി കാണിക്കുമ്പം എൻ്റെ സൗണ്ടും വേറൊരാളുടെ സൗണ്ടും തമ്മിൽ എന്താണ് ഡിഫറൻസ് എന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കിയാൽ മാത്രമാണ് we can do imitation or mimicking. So this happens during this time. What is the difference between the selected acts from several events? So what is the difference between this selected act and different events which is seen in the surrounding? So that they will be knowing during this time, that is regarding the imitation. The second one is play. So during this time play becomes evident as they take pleasure in performing an act after they have mastered it. Much of infants working hours is absorbed in sensory motor play. So they will be playing with small toys and other activities. So they will be taking pleasure from playing the objects. Okay, playing with the objects. Affect, that is outward manifestations of emotion and feeling, is seen as infants begin to develop a sense of permanency. So during this time they know regarding the parent. So the separation, it can give emotional changes in the child. And not only for food, they will be showing the emotions like love and hatred, they will be showing to the parents. So that is the affect. So they will be talking with the baby mother, and they will be interacting with the mother, and they will be showing the emotions of love and affection towards the mother or the parents or caregivers. So we'll continue the stages and substages in the next video. Thank you.